Hello everyone, this is Jake from Down the Weeble Hole, and today we're going to be doing something a little different. 3 months ago, I made a video discussing what I thought about Fire Force, an anime that came out in 2019, and today, I'm here to talk about the series once again. Season 2 has just finished airing, and I want to give my thoughts on it. If you have not watched my Season 1 review on Fire Force, be sure to check it out. And since this is a review on a second season of an anime, I'm going to be spoiling things that happened in Season 1, but I'll try not to spoil too many things that happened in Season 2. I made it pretty clear in my initial review that I loved the first season of Fire Force. I found the characters to be interesting and fun, I love how the plot was unfolding, I really enjoyed the world building in the series, and the versatility with the fire abilities impressed me a lot. Season 2 still has all of these great aspects, and even though I really liked what I saw, I don't think Season 2 reached the same kind of highs Season 1 had. Season 2, like Season 1, was separated into multiple little arcs. Season 2 adapts 8 different arcs, beginning with the Versus Special Fire Force Company 4 arc, and ends with the Stigma arc. It's series like Fire Force that make me wish One Piece was a seasonal anime, because once again, the pacing for Fire Force is wonderful. Arcs never drag on, and every episode is either filled with awesome fights, or about developing the plot. Season 2 was also less Shinra focused. The season decided to spend more time expanding on both existing and new characters, which I appreciate. I had several questions from Season 1, like what's the Evangelist's grand plan? And even though Season 2 gives us even more questions, it did answer several things I wanted to know. We finally learn about Joker's past, we meet 2 new pillars, and we even learn that the Holy Soul Temple is lying to the general public about how they were established. Last season, the series made me feel guilty about finding Shinra weird because of his creepy smile, and this season made me feel bad for thinking Arthur is an idiot. Arthur's backstory was short, but I found it so heartbreaking, and I'm curious to see if he'll have to eventually deal with his past. An aspect of Fire Force that I didn't speak about in my last review was how it dealt with its female characters. The female characters in Fire Force are certainly sexualized, and I don't mind this, as long as the character is interesting. A problem with Season 1 is that most of the female cast takes a back seat, and I excuse this issue because I felt that Season 1 wanted to focus more on Shinra and his interactions with all the various characters. I'm so happy that Season 2 began to develop the female characters a lot more. We see Maki's home life and how dedicated she is to the Fire Force. Iris has to deal with the fact that the church was lying to her, and Tamaki is finally fleshed out and is no longer just a joke character. During the joint investigation arc, I got so upset that Tamaki was losing every fight she was in. She constantly needed everyone else's help, and I hated how her character was being treated. So I was pleasantly surprised that she decided to train with Shinra and Arthur in the following arc, and we even got to see some of her backstory. Seeing how she sees herself because of her Lucky Let Your Lure ability really helped me sympathize with Tamaki, but we'll have to see next season if this training will help with her character. Sadly, characters like Hibana are the same. She's still a Boa Hancock wannabe, but the series added a bunch of new characters that I think are welcome additions. I think Inka has an interesting power, and I like how she wants to live a thrilling life, and the decision she makes reflects that lifestyle. Nataku returns from Season 1. He's the kid that was forcibly bitten by one of those fire bugs and survived. I love his relationship with Kurano, who feels like a reverse Hisoka. While Hisoka is interested in fighting the strongest opponents, Kurano is only interested in beating up the weak. Also, I don't have much to say about Ritsu, but I love her design, and I think she's cute. Her necromancer abilities are also super terrifying. As I mentioned before, I don't think Season 2 reaches the same highs that Season 1 did, but Season 2 still had its fair share of awesome fights. The standout for me this season is Juggernaut vs Orochi. He really stepped it up during this fight. Now it's time to talk about some things I didn't like about Season 2. The first thing is that I found it odd that there were talking animals during the Chinese Peninsula arc. I just felt like this came out of nowhere, and it was a little awkward watching the cast interact with talking animals. My other issue is that during the 5th Pillar arc, there are several Infernals attacking, and the Fire Force are not laying the Infernals to rest because the nuns are not there to recite the prayer. However, in Season 1 during Hinawa and Obi's backstory on how they established Company 8, they say the prayer before laying the Infernal to rest. I don't understand why they couldn't just say the prayer themselves, as the Infernals were attacking the city. The only explanation that I came up with is that since the Infernals are attacking the city, the Fire Force would want to keep up their appearance by making the nuns recite the prayer. Obi and Hinawa were able to do the prayer in Season 1 since there were no witnesses when they were dealing with the Infernal, and they were also not officially part of the Fire Force yet. But besides these two little gripes, I really enjoyed the second season. The animation can still look choppy at times, but it still has a unique style that I really love. Also, Spark again takes the #1 spot as the best Fire Force opening, beating Inferno. I'm really happy that I started watching Fire Force. It turned out to be one of my favorite anime I've watched all year, and I'm excited to see what the rest of this series has to offer. I give Fire Force Season 2 a Gorilla Cyclops out of 10. Thanks for watching my review, everyone. Be sure to tell me what you think about Fire Force Season 2 in the comments below. Also, don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already, and be sure to follow us on Instagram and Twitter. And don't forget to join our Discord if you want to talk about Fire Force or any other anime. Take care, everyone.
Fly away now, fly